Hello, this video is over rational operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, positive and negative numbers. So let me get my pen ready so we can get going. So Lonnie bought a rope that is 3 feet long. On Monday, he cut off a piece of rope that is half foot long. On Tuesday, he cut off a piece that is 10 feet long. How much rope did he have left? The answer can be in either decimal or fraction form. So let's do it decimal form. So he cut off a rope that is 3 feet long. So he cut off, he has a rope that is 3 feet long. He cut off a piece that is half a foot. So 1/2 is the same as saying 5/10. Then he cut off a rope that is 3/10, which is 3/10. So if you have 3-foot rope and you cut off 5/10, that's 2.5 or 2 5/10. To show it mathematically, 3 0/10 minus 5/10 is 2 5/10. Then he cut off 3/10 from that, and the answer is 2 2/10. Some people may want to solve it in fraction form. So what's 3 take away a half? 2.5. So we need to cut off 3/10. Do they have the common denominator? No. 10. What is the relationship between 2 to 10? Times 5. Times 5. So it's 5/10. So 5/10 take away 3/10 is 2/10. So 2 2/10 divided by 2 is 1/5. So it's 2 1/5. 2 1/5. So in today's activity, you're going to decide, is it positive or negative, doing thumbs up, thumbs down. So what's negative 1 4,400 divided by negative 2/10? Is it positive or negative? Well, opposite of a negative is positive, so the answer will be positive. What's negative 12 times 6/10? Well, the answer will be negative. Opposite of a positive is negative. What's 1 2/5 times negative 2 1/10? Well, it's going to be negative again, because a negative times a positive is negative. Because opposite of a negative, so this means opposite. Opposite of a positive is negative. And you have negative 1, and you combined it 4 1/3. Add 4 1/3 to it. You have more negatives and more positive. More positive, so it's positive. So let's show it on a number line. So we have 0. So negative 1 means we go back 1. 4 1/3 is close to 4, so you go 4 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4 is about 3 positive. Positive. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be getting an error analysis card from the back of the classroom, and can you discover the 2 errors you will write on the card? So let's check out some of these things. So we have card A, and we have card B. So let me get my pen again, and let's see the errors in each one. So first error. Danielle has 13.5 pounds of blueberries. She fills containers that each hold 2 1/4 pounds of blueberry. How many containers can Danielle fill? So does this make sense? Well, 1.5 container does not make sense, first of all. So let's look at the mathematics here. So if this is dividing, so they turn this mixed number to improper. Then they turn this mixed number to improper. So far, I like it. So, whoops, I kind of erased it. Let me erase this. So far, so good. Then they just divided. Wait, hold up. If I'm not mistaken, when you divide fractions, you need to turn a division to a multiplication, and you need to flip the second fraction, which is called reciprocal. So no. So the 2 errors is they forgot to turn a division to a multiplication, and they forgot to do the reciprocal. So that's why it is not correct. So we multiply this. 27 times 4 is 108. And 2 times 9 is 18. So you can divide that and find the answer. Another way you could do it is, some people do this. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the answer is going to be 6. Danielle has 13 and 5/10 pounds of blueberries. She fills containers that each hold 2 and 1/4 pounds of blueberry. How many containers can Danielle fill? So it's dividing. But they said 6/10. First of all, we know the answer is 6, so that's our first error. Oh, it's dividing decimal, so we need to write it as a fraction. Do they have this? Do they share the same place value? No. So we put in the magic annex a 0 here, so it's 13 and 50 hundredths. So to turn it to a whole number, you should be multiplying by 100. So tenths hundred, that's 225. Multiplied by 100, tenths hundred, that's 1,350. Oh, right here. They're dividing by decimal. They did not move the decimal point. So 1,350 divided by 225 is 6. So they did not annex a 0, and they, oh, actually they did, but they did not set it into whole numbers. Like times it by 100, and the answer should be 6. There are more questions on here, so let me take this away. Let me erase all of this. And let's move this here. So now we have C and D. Marianne is using a rectangular tile for our art project. Each tile measures 6 and 4/10 by 7.5. What is the area? So we need to, so what is our first mistake here? So they multiply the whole numbers, then the fraction, then they combine it together. No. How do you multiply fractions? This is a mixed number. You got to turn it to improper. 6 times 5 is 30 plus 2 is 32 fifths times, and what is this improper? 7 times 2 is 14 plus 1 is 15 halves. So if you do 32 times 15, I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to do more of a shortcut to save myself time here. What's 15 divided by 3? What's 32 divided by 2? 16. 16 times 3 is 48 is the answer. So that's wrong. So the reason why this is wrong, they did not turn this mixed number to an improper fraction of 32 fifths times 15 halves. You cannot just multiply whole numbers and multiply two fractions. That is not correct. And then last but not least, what is wrong with this problem? So it's 6 and 4/10 times 7.5, which is 7 and 5/10. 5 times 4 is 20, carry 2. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Looks good. Oh, scratch, scratch, lay an egg, as some of the elementary teachers do teach. Oh, wait, they didn't put a 0 here, a placeholder. 7 times 4 is 28, carry the 2. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 2 is 44. If you add this up, oh, jump it 2 places. Oh, they forgot to jump the decimal too. So there's 2 mistakes. They didn't annex a 0, or lay an egg, put a placeholder, and jump the decimal 2 places. So the answer is 48. So the last thing you're going to do is we're going to play 4 corners. You'll be given 4 questions. You will write your initials, and then you will solve a problem. Then you will, as a group, you will come up with a final answer. So how would you solve this question? Well, I'm going to multiply 3 and 2/10 and 2 and 1/10 first. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Scratch, scratch, lay an egg. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Where does the decimal point go? 2 places. 1, 2. But is it positive or negative? Opposite of a negative is positive 6 and 72 hundredths. Or this one, dividing. Is this in fraction form? Nope. So to divide fraction, you turn a division to a multiplication, then you flip the second fraction for 1. Negative. So it's negative 12(1), or just negative 12. Turn this to an improper fraction, negative 5/4 times 2/3. So I multiply, negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. 4 times 3 is 12. Can I simplify this? Divide by 2, divide by 2, negative 5, 6. And the last question is dividing decimal. Let's write it as a fraction form. Do they have the same place value? It does. So you multiply by 10, multiply by 10, negative 27 divided 3 is 9, but since it's opposite, negative 9. And that is what we did today over order rational operations.